Good morning, everyone. So, it's Thursday already. Wow. Crazy, isn't it? Seems like just yesterday it was Moonology Monday. Wow. The week just kind of blew past us. Okay, I'm going to start getting these cards out. That way we can start reading them. In the meantime, I have a little something to tell you. As everybody knows, one of my favorite games in the world is Magic the Gathering. Now, I don't purchase any new cards. I have what I have and I play with that. They're mostly games where I sit at a table and I play. I lose more games than I win, but I always have fun. But I haven't played a game in 3 years. Why? Because of the deadliest unnamed virus of unknown origin. Now, I talked with some people. I kind of put this in front of them last night, and I've gotten responses even until this morning. But I want to know from you. What do you think? See, I have these people that I was playing with. I was very close with them. But for the past 3 years, I've been enduring, well, we've got a game set up for this weekend. Well, that's put off because of the deadliest virus, unnamed virus of unknown origin, of course. There was constant paranoia over this virus, and this was before even the first case had even made it out this way. Well, then the lockdowns happened, and any hikes, any tabletop RPGs, which were going to become a thing, I think. I don't know, the link on that was rather tenuous at best. Any Magic the Gathering games came to a screeching halt. And when I say a screeching halt, I mean they ended. So I took my decks, I packed them into a case, and I put them away. As you can see, I play with a different sort of card these days. But anyway, I put them away, and about 6 months ago they were talking about, oh, this will all be over soon, and we could go back to playing this. And I went, I'll be honest with you, I gave up on that. I gave up on that a while back. You guys are missing the boat here. Also, it's quite a thing because every time something has directly affected me, these people have made excuses. Oh, well, we're just looking out for you. Like, I appreciate that, but I didn't ask you for it. Right? That sort of thing? Yeah. There was always a reason why that little, oh, it's just a little something or other. Oh, it's always little when it's not you, right? I had to constantly hear about things at the table I would rather not hear about. So, Thanksgiving. Let's talk Thanksgiving and Christmases over the past 2-3 years. The first one was to take place via Zoom call. Now, I'll say this, when it comes to you watching this right now, many of you are thousands, maybe even hundreds of miles away. I don't mind doing Zoom call hangouts with you. I don't mind doing the, like the High Notes live streams. I don't mind doing that with you. You're too far away. I can't just pop over to your place. You can't just pop over to mine. I totally understand. I get it. They live blocks from me. Literally, it would take me about 30 minutes worth of walking. And that's me really dawdling and taking my time. So, cut a long story short, first one was a Zoom call. We didn't have Thanksgiving any year. Not together. And we normally do. We had one Christmas gathering together, and then suddenly it became so super deadly again, you see, Yes, election time happened. Now, it's no secret that I'm allergic to the shot. It's all I will call it. And it offered no significant benefits. The risks outweighed the rewards for me, but I was still forced to get it. And we're going to rewind just a little bit. We all know that. Some of you watched me suffer through that. Some of you did. Because it was really evident on this channel. But because I hadn't yet received it by Thanksgiving, I was informed that I was not invited to the, what was it? I was not invited to Thanksgiving dinner, which they were holding. And I was also not invited to Christmas with them. And so I made plans. I laid out my plans, and we did the live stream on Hangouts, which, by the way, we're still doing. And I thought, that's it. When the paranoia, and here's the other thing, never could get a straight story as to why that mattered. So with not being able to believe anything really, with the story constantly changing, I decided, well, that's trust broken. Now with me, when I meet with you, you're cool until you prove that you're not. You automatically get my trust, you automatically get my respect, I will automatically start treating you that way. Once you make it apparent that none of that matters, I cut you off entirely. You get nothing. Especially if you violate my trust. You violate my trust, you don't get that ever again. I'll forgive you, but I'm not stupid enough to trust you again. And this Saturday, actually let me go back a little bit, I got the shot, and then suddenly it was, oh, well now you can join us again. Never once asking, did you want to? And that was the question. So anyway, kind of a long story short, I've been invited to this game, and I'm not thinking it's looking good for me showing up. Like, I'm seriously considering not going. I do have a bag packed full of decks, and I'm thinking I might just unpack that bag and call it a weekend. Besides, it's going to rain, and I'd be walking there, and I don't feel like doing it. But what do you think? Think I should? Comment down below. Also, yesterday I apologize for the video going out late. My computer had rebooted in the night, which meant I had to restart a lot of stuff that ate up precious time that I needed. I'm very, very sorry about that. But I did manage to get it uploaded. I managed to get it out there. So, and it still managed to do well. So I thank you for at least tuning into it. I know it was probably late in your day, and for that I apologize. That will not occur if I can at all help it. So, let's get down to today. Starting with the significator. I don't have time to explain, kid. Get in the fucking chariot. You know what? Our time is very valuable. It's the one asset that you are born with a theoretical abundance of it. But as you get older, and keep in mind I'm in my 40s now, as you get older you start to see a lot more of it behind you than ahead of you. So how are you going to use your time today? And you really need to use it wisely. Because your influence hasn't been decided. You don't have a guide for today. And that's what the void is. It's good news and bad news. The good news is that it hasn't been decided. Actually, the bad news is it hasn't been decided. So anything can happen. Any external thing can influence you. The good news is It hasn't been decided. So you can actually go in search of your own influence. Or you can exercise your own authority today. You can actually get back what you've lost. You can go out there and do whatever it is that, well, we'll see what the rest of the cards have. How about that? Well, let's slow our roll a little bit. But the Ant Spirit, all about collaboration. I can personally identify with this one, because these days it has been a lot of collaboration. It's been a lot of talking to people, getting information, picking their brains. The people who have been privileged enough, and I don't say that with any kind of insult, the people who have been privileged enough to play the types of games that I'm designing, they've been able to play them more than I have. They've spent many years in it. And some are like, well, I play this one more than I play that one. I play this version more than I play this version. I don't really care for that version. I like this set over here. And they're all willing, thankfully, to share the reasons why. It is time to collaborate today. It's also time to really be aware of with whom you're collaborating. Because I can tell you this with no uncertainty. Don't let others waste your time. Let's go to the tarot. So we got an Emperor here. We got a Seven of Swords. And we got a Tower. Okay, so with this Emperor, you sitting in your authority here. You're very well seated in it. You know your facts, you know your stuff, so don't worry about what you don't know. Go with what you do know. You're going to have to employ a little stealth, a little bit of deception. You don't want people to see you coming. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about something I learned today. There's a director named Paul W.S. Anderson. You may know him from Event Horizon, Resident Evil, those movies. Well, little known fact, he also directed the original Mortal Kombat movie, and he had little to no experience at all. But what happened with him was that the other actors around him, those with experience, Robin Shu, who did a lot of stuff in Hong Kong, he's been through a lot of fight choreography. He took over fight choreography for the movie. Christopher Lambert, who played Raiden, was very laid back, and everyone really looked up to him, and they kind of followed his lead too. So on and so forth. He was very supported by his own cast, and that's why the movie turned out as well as it did. There was only one cast member of that movie who was not supportive and was a total diva, and that was the animatronic for Goro, the four-armed, half-human, half-dragon thing. So what Anderson had done was he employed that little bit of stealth. He had his little bit of directing experience under his belt. He knew he was decent, and he checked out all the books he could on CGI at the time, and then went in and talked. When he did his pitch, he talked a lot about CGI. And he was perceived as the smartest man in the room. Really, he was just regurgitating what he read. But executives, they didn't know that. So, remember, the pitch doesn't have to be perfect, but you have to put yourself in a position where you're not going to be seen coming, if that makes any sense, because there will be some kind of upheaval. Now, I can tell you this much right now, we are going through the same thing at work. This is the first time in a long time the Tower card has come up. But the thing is, even when all falls apart, you still have a firm foundation upon which to build. Now, that foundation is common ground. You have to be there. Yesterday we talked about a little diplomacy in action. We have talked about compromise in the past being, you start here, I start here, we meet right here, not me coming all the way over here and then you stepping forward a couple steps, or vice versa. It's we meet in the middle. We both give and we both take and we both get something that's mutually beneficial. This card, the Tower, is telling you that the foundation is what's mutually beneficial. And you have to be able to build on that despite your differences with someone else. These are collaborative efforts. You have to be able to exercise your authority, not abuse it. You have to be able to keep some things to yourself. I'm sorry. Sinuses are still messing with me, and this is like a week after the mask mandates were lifted at work. I probably need some Sudafed or something. Anyway, keep in mind that there's a lot of power in holding some things to yourself. It's wise to do that at times. You don't have to spill the entire plan. Just let others know what their parts may be, and then ask how you can be, what part can you play in theirs that would further things, especially the goal that you're starting on right here, this solid, firm foundation. That's where we're focusing on today. So let's go to some crystals and see what's going on here. And we're starting with a sunstone. And this is from the sacral chakra. This is what grounds you. And that's exactly what this is. It's a deep knowing. What do you have a deep knowledge of? What kinds of deep knowledge can you give to someone else? Remember, you don't have to know everything. You don't have to spill everything. Just what makes the most impact, right? That comes out of deep knowing. We also have hematite. This is from your root chakra. This is culmination. Hematite is called that because when you scrape it against something, it gives off sort of a rust color like blood. It's also been known to help the free flow of blood. In this case, do you see that culmination happens in the same reading as this tower where only foundation is left? The culmination of your efforts, the free flow of ideas, those things need to be supported. Finally, we also have Herkimer diamond. This is from an earth star chakra, and it's all about aligning yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, I wear a combination of Moldavite and Herkimer diamond hanging from the same chain. Let me tell you something, the Herkimer diamond makes that transition with Moldavite a lot more gradual, and it does cut a little away from the intensity, but that's fine. It keeps me from going squirrely. Okay, let's put it that way. But Herkimer diamond, it really helps with the intuition. It really opens that kind of thing up. Speaking of crystals, now is a good time to tell you that our tribal Frau Keeley is giving presentations on crystals. And I'm going to say this, these are not short articles that she is posting in the tribe chat, but they are worth reading, and there was so much I learned that I did not know already. And I've been messing with crystals for a little over a year now. So thank you, Keeley. And hey, Tribe of the Great Horned Pagans chat in Telegram, right down below. You can come in and check out those articles yourself. Finally, we have Othala, Fehu, and Ingvaz. So, right now we're relying on those that came before us. Those are going to be our guides. You need to look to people more experienced than yourself. What was I just talking about earlier with the gaming? Yep, definitely look for those more experienced than yourself. Also, Fehu, now this one is about abundance. Not necessarily money. This could be a wealth of knowledge. It could be a wealth of experience. And if you're one of the predecessors it's time to start sharing, and sharing in a way that speeds things along, that moves things, that helps things flow, that aligns things right, that, showing off that deep knowing. You don't have to be a complete show off, but you can exhibit that deep knowing. You can build on that foundation. You don't have to share everything, but share the most impactful things. And then finally, this ingvaz, this masculinity. We have fertility also. And we're pointing at this Emperor card. What do emperors tend to do? They tend to build empires. They tend to unite disparate tribes. They tend to unite disparate smaller countries or petty kingdoms, things like that. Also, spring is on the way, ladies and gentlemen. It is less than 2 weeks away. Yesterday's rune of the week was Berkano, which is all about rebirth and fertility. Also, there is femininity with Berkano, but there is masculinity with Ingvaz. So, or Ingus, however you want to pronounce it. But this is more about unity than anything, because you have to be able to unify yourself with people who share your goals and aspirations and your dreams, etc., etc. You have to build on a solid foundation with people you can trust, with people who have your back, with your soul tribe, with your soul family. And let me tell you something, if you or someone else is about to call you family, they better be ready to back your play and understand your reasonings for your play. Get me? It's like I've always said with people who are around me, you might want to shoot straight with me. I might get mad at you, but you know what? I'll get over that. You don't have to worry about that. Shoot straight with me, because I'm going to do it with you. One way or the other. Now, Spirit is really kind of just taking a little bit of a hands-off approach today. They want to see where you go. They want to see how you do. So do I. I thank you for joining me. Thank you for spending your morning with me. I love you all. Take care of yourselves and each other. By the way, all the promos for the private readings down below. You might want to start taking a look through that. You might want to start taking a look through that description, because plenty of information there. But thank you again for joining me. Always do what lights you up. And as always, my friends, shine on.